Shane Van Gisbergen has completed his first Cup trip in Michigan International Speedway and scores another top 20 finish and finishes in 18th place. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to the video. As I just said a second ago, Shane Van Gisbergen has completed his first Cup Series trip at Michigan International Speedway and finishes in a respectful 18th place. Now, Shane Van Gisbergen qualified inside the top 30 and qualified in 26th position, showing he's starting to improve a lot on qualifying. That's been one of his biggest struggles so far in 2025 outside of the road courses. Now, early in the race, Shane Van Gisbergen would fall back a little bit in the field. He fell back to around 30th or 31st early in this race, but he kind of remained there early in this event. He kind of remained around that 30th to 31st position. It was very, very difficult to pass. But what I noticed with SVG is that as the run progressed and went on, he would start improving his position. It seemed like his car, especially on the long run, was really, really good. He would get by a couple guys early in the race. He'd get by Ty Gibbs early in the event, who started up front, was struggling early in the race, and got by Alex Bowman, who also was doing a really terrible job, and got by Cody Ware as well early in the event, and would move up inside the top 30 in this race. By the end of stage number 1, Shane Van Gisbergen would be around 24th or 25th position. Stage 1 would come to them with Chris Buescher winning stage number 1, and SVG would come off the corner and finish inside the top 30 around 25th or 26th place. During the first pit stops of the event, Shane Van Gisbergen, I believe, it actually would take 2 tires on pit road, while some guys behind him, in front of him, decided to take 4 tires. This actually moved Shane Van Gisbergen up inside the top 20 of this race, and would restart around 15th or 16th position in stage number 2. Early in the stage, a lot of chaos and carnage ended up happening right behind SVG. There was a crash that took place between Todd Gillen and Noah Gragson. Not Todd Gillen, Noah Gragson. Noah Gragson and John Hunter Nemechek, they both had some contact. They both ended up spinning out in the infield of turn number 2. And Shane would gain a couple positions because of that. Then on the next restart, I believe SVG was behind all these guys. I think he had come down pit road to top off on field. And the big one was strike right in front or behind him. Alex Bowman, a couple other guys ended up getting collected, including Chase Briscoe. Cole Custer got collected. He's very close in the standings currently at the moment. And another guy got collected in the wreck. Alex Bowman hit the outside wall really, really hard. His day would come to an end. A couple other guys got a ton of damage in that wreck as well. And then we got back green once again, and I believe another caution would end up taking place for incident once again, and Shane would continue to move forward through the field. And as the run progressed and went on, Shane would kind of maintain around that 26th to 30th range, around that 25th range, and would start moving forward as the long runs came in. That car was pretty solid on the long runs and started moving forward. By the end of stage number 2, Shane Van Gisbergen was around 20th to 21st position at this particular point. Coming off the corner, William Byron held off Christopher Bell, or actually held off the rest of the field, to win stage number 2 after Ryan Blaney spun out on the restart. Shane would be there. William Byron would come off the corner, pass Austin Cindric, and win stage number 2, and Shane would be up around 25th to 30th at that time. And then as it came down pit road, Shane would come down pit road at one point to basically top off on gas during the final caution for Todd Gillen, and he had a mistake on pit road. So he was basically going to take 2 tires, or was going to kind of just come in to top off and get some new fresh tires, because tires did mean a little bit in this race. Well, the pit crew made a pretty big mistake for SVG. They basically left the wrench and the wedge wrench inside the car. He would actually back up on pit road, kind of similar to what drivers have done when they've had loose wheels on their cars. He would come back and back up on pit road. But because they had removed equipment, he had gone outside the pit box, and I guess he's not learned this at this point, he would still have to go into the tail end of the longest line, because that equipment, that wedge wrench, had been taken out of the pit box, and you're not allowed to have that happen. So he restarted near the back of the pack at this point, along with guys like Kyle Larson and AJ Allmendinger at this point. And then on the restart, Shane Van Gisbergen started driving through the field a little bit. His car seemed to be getting a little bit better as time went on, and he was starting to charge his way up to the front. And by the time we got to stage number 3, I noticed that Shane Van Gisbergen was actually running inside the top 20, and at one point was up to 13th, 14th on one of the final restarts of this race, and was charging his way up there. Now, he would lose a little bit of track position and ground because he did have only 2 tires at that point, and a lot of guys behind him did have 4 tires, and he was trying to save enough gas and fuel after the incidents and all that kind of stuff. Before that incident had happened, he was saving gas at this particular moment in point. And as the run continued on, SVG started picking up a couple positions. And a lot of guys in front of him started running out of gas and started running out of fuels. A lot of guys in front of him, like William Byron, Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, his teammate, all those guys were trying to basically save a lot of gas and make it to the checker flag. And Shane Van Gisbergen in the safety culture car was in the same position as well at that particular moment in point. Near the end of the race, there would be a couple guys that would have problems. First, Carson Osbar would unfortunately end up having a flat tire, and he would come down pit road. And then Michael McDowell would also run out of gas near the end. That was another spot for Shane Van Gisbergen as well. And then with a couple laps to go in the race, William Byron would go ahead and run out of gas on coming to the white flag of this race. Meanwhile, Shaman Gisbergen had been passing guys. He got by Austin Dillon. He got by Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Justin Haley, Joe Logano, Chase Briscoe, all those guys. He was getting by those guys as the run progressive went on because his car was better on the long run, and he had been saving gas at that particular point. And coming to the checker flag of the event, Denny Hamlin would hold off the field and come off the corner and pick up his third win of 2025 and his 57th career NASCAR Cup Series win. We would see Chris Buescher finish second. Ty Gibbs got a great finish in third. Bubba Wallace finished in fourth. Kyle Larson got fifth. Ross would end up getting sixth. Daniel Suarez ended up finishing around 15th in this race in 14th. Chase Elliott got 15th. But Shaman Gisbergen would come off the final corner and finish in 18th place. Overall, Shaman Gisbergen today put together a very, very solid performance, and I've been seeing this throughout this year. Shaman Gisbergen's biggest Achilles heel going into 2025, we all knew was going to be the struggling on the ovals, but he is really starting to figure it out on the ovals. The performance is starting to get a lot better. You think about recent races that we've had in the NASCAR Cup Series so far. You go back to Texas, finished in 22nd. He got a top 20 finish at Darlington. He got a top 20 finish at Kansas. He finished 14th at Charlotte. Ran inside the top 20 most of the day at Nashville, finished 25th. And today he ran inside the top 20 at quite a bit of this event, and he finished inside the top 20 in 18th place. He is really starting to figure out these ovals very, very quickly, and he is slowly but surely moving his way up standings. I believe he is basically gone ahead of Cole Custer, and I would not be surprised if he's actually jumped ahead of Riley Herbst in the standings. Right now, he's 33rd in the standings. I know that's not really good by any stretch of imagination, but there's guys in front of him that I think he can catch. And we've got a lot of races coming up for SVG where I look for him to be a major factor. Next week in Mexico City, he is going to be a major factor for that win. He's really good at road courses. I think he's got a major advantage going in. I know he's low in the standings right now, but I think he'll be a factor there. You got Sonoma coming up really soon. I do expect him to be a factor. I think he's going to be good at Watkins Glen near the end of the year, and you've also got Chicago. He is the ultimate favorite to win Chicago currently at the moment. As he continues to get better on these ovals, though, I think we're going to see him contend more for top 20s on a week-by-week basis, and that's the goal for Shane. Because throughout this year, I wanted to see if he can improve on the ovals, and I think he's doing a really solid job. I think Trackhouse today had a decent speed, and he's closer to his teammates on a week-by-week basis. And there was a lot of times today I noticed where Shaman Gisbergen was ahead of Daniel Suarez, and there was a lot of times the reason why SVG was behind him at the end was because Daniel Suarez is up there because of strategy. SVG had a way faster car, but the team made mistakes today. And despite the mistakes they made on pit road, he came in and salvaged a top 20 finish, which that's the goal in my opinion. Every single race to goal on the ovals right now should be top 20. And they continue to improve that and get inside the top 15. And get close to your teammates because he's not that far behind Suarez and the standings right now. And runs like today are going to close that gap a little bit. I want to start seeing him continue to improve. He's been doing a solid job today. We know he'll probably be back with Trackhouse next year. I think he should be back. He's getting a lot better and is progressing as a race car driver in the NASCAR Cup Series. We're starting to see he's figuring out, and he's starting to run a lot better currently at this moment. His speed is starting to show. He's been out qualifying Daniel Suarez on ovals as well recently too. So I think Trackhouse may be starting to get a little better. Good run for SVG to finish inside the top 20. The goal now going forward is to continue to improve that and continue to show a lot more speed going forward and go win those races. He's going to be going up against guys in the future like Connor Zilisch will be running Watkins Glen. I think Zilisch will be a factor in the race. He's going to have some good contenders in Mexico too, like Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott, who I think will actually be a factor. Same with Byron and Bell and Reddick, and even Bubba Wallace too, who looked really solid at COTA before he had issues. But I think it'll be very fun to watch to see what he can do. I think SVG will be a pretty big factor, and I think he'll have a good chance to win Mexico. But today was a solid run. Good to see him finish inside the top 20 today at Michigan. So, that is going to be today's special video on Shaman Gisbergen finishing inside the top 20 18th. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's description below that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. How would you rate Shaman Gisbergen's performance from today here at Michigan? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we are going to have a NASCAR news video discussing news over the course of the last couple days. We're going to talk about the Ram news that came out earlier today. Did a video talking about that. Some teams that might be going to Ram from rumors that Adam Stern has suggested, like Cletus Afaro, GMS, and maybe Nice Motorsports as well. We're also, of course, going to talk about some other stuff as well, like, of course, the lawsuit updates with 2311 and Front Row, and a lot of the drivers commenting on that, on the ruling of the injunction. We've got some stuff from today's race in Michigan to talk about, among other things, and we'll talk about some Mexico stuff as well. We got content coming on people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Cards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Ryan Preece, Brad Keselowski, Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, Dodge, Ram, all the good stuff. Honda as well, rumors around that. We're also going to talk about Mexico. We're going to have the intros videos for the NASCAR Cup race coming out on Tuesday. We might also do the Xfinity one as well. We got a lot of good content dropping on the channel for you guys that I cannot wait for you guys to check out from Junior Motorsports and Trackhouse and all the good stuff as well. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content, other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.